thought we'd sum up Morocco with a few myths that we were led to believe against truths of what they are. And we only speak of these as our experience of what they are. First of all, on YouTube, I'm not going to say who they are, it'd be unfair to do that, but there is a family, the big YouTube thing. Before we went over to Morocco, we watched different people's videos. Now, they did a third party, did they get a full party insurance? Full third party? Third party, I think. They got a third party insurance, I think, might be fully comp, and paid well over the odds for it. On top of that, they said you can't get fully comp insurance. Well, you can get fully comprehensive insurance. We got ours through Saga. Is it expensive? Yes, but you are fully comp. We've got that for Morocco and Turkey and Tunisia. So when they say it's only third party, that's not strictly true. If you look around, you can find it. It is expensive,
not that dear, though.
It's not that dear in the scheme of things. And while we've justified it, is this year we'll do Morocco. We're also going to do Turkey, so it works out a little bit better. The other thing is, people say cash is king. Well, it is in Morocco, to be fair. Cash is king. Do you have to barter for things? Yes, you do. On the whole, that's not really an issue or a problem. People don't harass you that much. It's not like, if anybody's been to Egypt, you get proper harassed there. It's not like that. If you just say no, people generally leave you alone on the whole. As regards cash is king, a lot of the fuel stations now, especially the big suppliers, Total, Shell, those companies, and some of the other ones, you can pay for your fuel with card. You can also pay with card for your shopping and things if you go to the big ones, Marjore or Carrefour, they all accept card. Your events that you go to see, not all of them, but a few of those big ones, they'll all accept card. So it is becoming a little bit more usable, should we say, a card. The other thing is, people say you need lots and lots of small denominations. Well, you do, for tipping and things like that. And when you're going to pay for things, we were told that people don't give you change. That's not strictly true either. Does that actually happen? Yeah. You know, you can go, you got to pay somebody, you ask them for change. If you've got high denominations of their currency and you're paying for something, our advice is, before you pay it, ask if you can get change. If they will give you change, give them your high denomination and you can get some of the small coins back, or some of the smaller denominations.
The bank change.
If they won't, then all you've got to do is give them the right money. It's as simple as that. That way you can keep your money turning over, you can keep small denominations for tipping and such like. Do you get conned? Yeah, you kind of do. I mean, we're worldly wise now, I suppose, on a lot of those things, and but we still get caught with bits and pieces.
Stand your ground, don't you?
All you've got to do is stand your ground. Just stand your ground. That's all you have to do. So I'll give you an example of that. You get snake charmers in Marrakesh. It is a big con on what they're trying to do. And we wanted the photo with the snakes. We wanted that. Well, when you walk anywhere near them, they do things like go to the woman, put a snake around the woman's neck, and then guide you for a photograph. That's all well and good. There's not a problem with that. If you haven't discussed the price beforehand, that's where your problems start. Now, we didn't do that. We did the photograph. We got a fantastic photograph. We got fantastic video as well, which is on an earlier one if you look at the Marrakesh video. So that was really good. And then afterwards they were asking for 500 dirham, which is the equivalent of about 48 quid, 47 quid. There's no way on God's earth I was going to pay that just because he asks for it. Now, I know people say you should have done the negotiation first. Well, I didn't. I did the negotiation afterwards. That's just as much their fault as what it is mine. So when he started and he asked for that, I wasn't going to give it him. I give him a 50 to start off with, which is the equivalent of a fiver. There's about 4 or 5 of them. They all start ranting or whatever at you for more money, and then I upped it to 100, which is the equivalent of about 8-9 quid, something like that, tenner, which is about right. It's what you would pay in the UK if you were buying a photograph that's taken at a theme park or anything like that. That's a fair price to me, and I was not paying a penny more. And we gave them the 100, and then they were ranting and raving or whatever. I don't care, and you just turn round and walk away. That's all you've got to do. And then they might shout a few obscenities at you in their own language or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's a deal, and it's what you're happy to pay against what they want. Now, if we'd have negotiated before, would I have paid a bit more? Possibly, because I wanted that photo and video. But he gave us the photo and video before he started his negotiation. Now, we have checked a few things out on the internet, and it seems like the amount of people that are paying them in, because they haven't got any money on them or enough money, and they're paying them in euros, and they're giving them all this money, 40 and 50 quid. You don't have to. Just stand your ground, stand up to them. It's just bartering. It is what it is. The other thing is we're happy to pay a fair price, so we did actually buy a tagine. We were expecting or looking to pay somewhere. We could get a cheap one off Amazon for about 20 quid, 15, 20 quid. We picked ourselves a really, really nice one, and we had in our head that we were going to pay up to about 15 quid for a really nice one, and it came in at about 12 quid. And I didn't want to barter with the fella. I thought it was a fair price for it. He'd made it, it was made by him, it was glazed, decorated by him. Fantastic, really happy with that. So you don't have to barter if you don't want to. You pay the price.
Don't barter at campsites.
Don't barter at campsites. Generally, when you see a price, if there's a price written down, that's generally what it is. So things like services tend to be that price. You can't barter for fuel. Fuel is cheaper. Diesel's definitely cheaper. It's easy to come by. but it tends to be in the towns. Dead easy up north, in the north of the country, northwest of the country, it's easier to come by. In the south, it's a bit further, the stations are a bit further apart, but there's generally one in every town. And what we did is we just said, well, we would keep our tank at half full. So when we hit half full, we just looked for a fuel station. We weren't desperate, and then away you go. But apart from that, we actually really, really enjoyed Morocco, didn't we? Yeah. Oh, and alcohol. When people say you can't get alcohol and all that sort of stuff, and it's dear where you can, that is absolute rubbish. All of the big carrefours, which are in all of the cities, have a little shop next to them, and they all sell alcohol.
It's cheap.
And it's reasonably cheap. It's not expensive. You don't have to go somewhere special and buying it under the counter. You can get it from those places. The only time you ever get a real problem is Ramadan, when they tend to be shut during their religious festivals. Apart from that, piece of cake to get alcohol.
Nice people.
Yeah, people are absolutely fantastic. They're helpful, they're happy, great. But you do have to keep your wits about you all the time, so you never really let your guard down. But it's been great, hasn't it?
Yep.
Really, really good. We're now back in Spain, and we're going to spend a week or so here now. A couple of other things.
In 600 metres, at the roundabout, take the second exit and stay on Carretera El Portal, A2002.
A couple of other things is the internet. We used Inwe, got a SIM card from them, and we paid, which was €50. And for the €50 we got 30 days unlimited data, calls and texts.
Exit the roundabout onto Carretera El
Calls
Portal.
and texts are only Europe, not UK. But
Continue on A2002 for 8 kilometres.
the data was brilliant, and I can still use that data in Europe as well. So even though we're back in Spain, I can still use that data, which we thought was a bargain. Some people are paying £1 a gigabyte, and we're paying what was €50, let's call it 50 quid, and we've had unlimited. And we've put, if anybody that watches the videos, nearly every day we've put a video on, and some of them are an hour and a half, 2 hours. I think one of them is 3 hours long. So the amount of data that uses, and we have run it through our own system. The only thing that I must say is that it has been brilliant. However, when you start getting to late afternoon and early evening, it does seem to struggle a bit, and you seem to get very poor usage.
But it works.
But it works. And if you're downloading something, you get it downloaded to put it onto YouTube, and then all you need to do is just leave it downloading overnight. You get up in the morning, it's done. But we've not had a problem at all.
Border, that one.
Yeah. The roads especially in the northwest, are fantastic. The motorways are tolls, you do pay cash on those. The other roads are pretty good. They're as good as what they are in England for most part. Every now and again you get some very big potholes. You just have to be wary of them. But great.
We were looking at the border. Some people were saying there was a 7-hour queue. We were there for about an hour tops, going through the scanner. The dogs didn't come in the van like some people said they did. The dogs live around the van. Some of the others that have come said that the dogs were all over inside the van. They weren't.
The only way that the dogs would go into the van if there's a suspicion that you've got something. So if the dog catches a scent, then they will investigate further. Otherwise, the dogs do not get into your vehicle at all. You also have to go through a scanner when you're coming out of the country. It is a long process, I must admit. It does seem a lot of messing about, but it's the way they do it. When you're on the ferry, you need to take with you your passports to there'll be a guy that does passport control on the ferry itself. And then when you get to the other side, you have to import your vehicle, and they'll give you a little card about the size of a credit card, business card, with some information on it. And then when you leave, you must keep that. When you leave the country, you hand that back in, and then they write something on it, and it kind of exports the vehicle again.
We bought our tickets from Spain to get across from Valeria. It was in a petrol station. Good price. However, Valeria don't stick to their itinerary of times.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use them again because we waited 5 hours for one. They didn't tell us it was cancelled. They just didn't run it because there wasn't enough people, but didn't tell anybody. So I would steer clear of Valeria.
Yeah, that Balearia was, yes, we got an open return. Didn't cost us any extra than booking a specific day, which was something that you did. However, the times they gave us for the ferries they weren't anything like what they advertised. The ferry was late leaving Morocco, and for us to get to Morocco, it didn't even turn up. There was no record of it anywhere, so it was a bit poor. However, on board the ferry, you could get something to eat. You paid for that in euros. That was okay.
Hot food.
And hot
Nice.
food. It's all right. It's an hour and a half's crossing. A bit like crossing on the Channel ferry. The ferry crossing that we had going, they must have spilt fuel, a lot of it, because it absolutely reeked. When you came off the deck where you
In 800 metres, at the roundabout, take the fourth exit onto NIB.
When you come off that, to go back down to where the vehicles were, it really, really strong. But that was only on the ferry going across. Apart from that, it was great. I can recommend the pizza, and I can also recommend the beef and the chicken. They're all
They
pretty
was really good.
Yeah.